Let's solve LeetCode 961 and repeated elements in size 2 and array. So this problem is a relatively simple one to understand. You'll have a integer array of nums, and exactly one element is repeated n times, where n is equal to the length of the array divided by 2. So it's an easy problem, but I want to make a video showing 3 different solutions, and we can discuss each solution. So the most simple one is that we just want to count the frequency of each number in this array. And we can do that using a hash map. So let's write that. We're going to create a hash map of integers, of integer to integer. And our key will be the actual value in the hash map of the actual element. And the value will be the occurrences of that element. So we can do that using an operator called map.get or default. And what this is doing is essentially, if the element is already in the map, we just increment it. But if it's not, we set it to 0 and then we add 1 to that. And then I'll just walk through this map. And we'll look at every entry. And if we ever see a value that is equal to n, which is nums.length divided by 2, we should just return that key that maps to that value. And if we run this, it should work. But as you can see, it's kind of slow. And the reason why that's slow is because we actually map every single occurrence, and we never actually break through early. We have to go through this whole array every single time. But if you look at this problem, it tells us that nums actually contains n plus 1 unique elements. And since we know one element is occurring n times, and the rest of the elements are occurring 1 time based on this condition, we can actually just use a set. And the idea is the following. We'll create a hash set, and we'll just check if any element occurs twice. And if that element occurs twice, then we know that we found the element that we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is walk through the nums array, and I'm going to check if we ever have added the element we're looking at into the set. If we do, then I'll return that, otherwise I'll add it to the set. And if we run this, it should be significantly faster. And you can see that beats 100%. The last solution I want to go over is a solution that doesn't use the set, but it uses the same logic as a set, and it's called a lookup table. So based on the constraints of this problem, we know that n can be max 10 to the 4, or any element in the array can be max 10 to the 4. So the idea is that we can just create a lookup table of sorts instead of using the hash set, and just mark true if we've ever seen any element before. So let me do that. I'm going to do math.pow 10 to the 4. And so this is creating a lookup table of size 10 to the 4. And I'll actually typecast this to an integer because math.pow returns a double. Now I'm going to walk through the elements of the nums array. If lookup table of what element we're looking at is ever true, we can return that. Otherwise, I'm going to mark it true because we've seen it. And that's basically it. So the idea is that each element will be getting an entry in the lookup table. If we ever see a duplicate, then we'll mark it as true. And if we see that it's true already and we're trying to mark it as true, if we see it twice, essentially, we'll return that. So I'll run this, and then let's submit it. And you can see this is pretty efficient too. So thank you for watching. That's 3 different solutions. And leave any comments if you have them. Thank you.